and World Gymnastics Championships. The Ahoy Arena in Rotterdam is host once again for the closing weekend of competition at the Worlds. 2 days of event finals to determine medals in every apparatus for both men and the women. The first to be decided today is the men's floor exercise, followed by a women's vault, where Alicia Sacramone has qualified to the final, and also men's pommel horse, uneven bars, and still rings. Kohei Uchimura will start us off on the floor exercise from Japan. I'm John Roethlisberger, joined by Tim Daggett and Elfie Schlegel. And this is the man right now in men's gymnastics.
Now, what a way to start. I mean, he is so dominant in the sport of men's gymnastics at this point. He came into the competition, injured shoulder, and he's been unbelievable.
But Tim, where is the tape, I ask? He's been sporting that fancy tape work on his left shoulder, and today, no signs of it.
Well, floor exercise, not one of the events that bothers him. Still rings and pommel horse, or what he said, really gets to him. But the thing you got to look at is how easy he makes everything look. And he's going to do some rollout skills where he'll actually kick out his body to a straight position. That was great. Wow.
Just perfect form and execution. Kohei said that after the all-around win, he said he won that title on sheer adrenaline.
Someone asked him, are you happy or are you exhausted? And he chose exhausted. It's been a grueling week.
He's done a lot of routines and really carried his Japanese team through a large part of this competition.
Yes, he has. Does this as well as anybody in the world. This is a triple twist 3 times around.
Just an amazing athlete.
First up, really not where you want to be if you want to win a gold medal, Tim and Elfie, but that's going to be a tough routine to match, don't you think?
I would say most definitely. You know, he really put it out there on that routine. You know, the amazing thing, when I look at him, I don't see how he can be so quick, so powerful. I see just a normal-looking guy, but he walks up normal, and then the moment he grabs a bar or starts to tumble, it's just magic.
But the other thing about his work, what has struck me, is just how light and how floaty everything appears, and it really seems so effortless on his part.
Score for Kohei, 15.533. Is that going to be good for a medal?
That's a very big number. They have been incredibly stingy on floor exercise here, not just on the men's side, but the women's side as well.
We have quite a diverse event final here in the first rotation on the floor exercise. Eleftherios Kosamidis from Greece is our next finalist, and Greece has produced some great floormen in the past. In 1996, Ioannis Milissadonis won the gold medal on this event, so some footsteps to follow him.
For sure. He'll do a very big mount. Got a little bit of a tear in his tape.
We got to blow out.
And
we got to blow out on the right
That happens
tire.
when you land a little bit short. This is big. Double-double.
Oh, wow. Beautiful. This guy's very bouncy.
We will see an American later in the floor exercise final, Steve Legendre, representing the United States.
This athlete has one of the highest start values in the competition. Remember, it's the difficulty, but the other component to scoring is the execution. How well can he put all these skills together?
And actually, he has been executing incredibly well. Floor exercise is really all about landings. Every time your feet slide or hop, the judges, like that one right there, that will be 1/10 of a point. But he has had few of those.
It's the same rule in women's gymnastics. They do not like those hops on the landings of tumbling passes.
The time warning.
He knows where he is, doesn't he?
That was really, really good.
How big would a world title be for Greece?
Oh, unbelievable.
Carry on the tradition, right?
That was big. That was big. And like I said, it was hard, but the landings
Okay, take it easy
were
on him.
so incredibly great.
Well, very cat-like in the air, but as Tim mentioned, just incredible height, very explosive in his tumbling passes, but light at the same time. Two great first routines.
Punctuation mark right there. Stick the landing. Big time, good stuff.
Has a smile on his face. There's a score, 15.7, puts him into first place. When we return, we will see if American Stephen Legendre can match that score. Midway through the floor exercise finals, Eleftherios Kosmidis from Greece has got the early lead. Stephen Legendre would like a chance at redemption from last year's World Championships when he finished 8th, and does he have the goods to compete with that man right there?
Well, you know, he actually does. He did one of the hardest routines in the qualifying round. Super difficult mount. Did it a little bit better in the team finals.
Oh.
And that is disastrous right there.
It will not be a day of redemption for Legendre, unfortunately.
No, I would guess at this point there's two routines that are tremendous already. He's going to have a very hard time. I don't believe he will medal.
I know this has got to be frustrating for most people in the United States who have followed him for years, because he is, I had struggled to find somebody more exciting to watch on floor than Steve Legendre.
There was a lot of hype. Oh, my
and
goodness.
That was a huge error.
I was going to say, coming into this competition, the talk about his creative tumbling passes and how it would stack up to the best in the world here. And, you know, what a feat for him to make it to the event finals again. But, wow, that's a shame. He is much better than that.
His coach, Mark Williams, right there, has seen him do this over and over again. A heck of a lot better than he just did now.
Tim, you had mentioned earlier about his difficulty. It was the highest on the first day to qualify into this event finals.
Yeah, I don't know. You know, it's the looks of this routine. He's going to be right near the bottom on floor exercise.
Why does that happen? I mean, he's got it together. He hits his routine in prelims, and it looks like he's just, is he not prepared, or is it mentally too much for him?
No, it's mentally, it's just too much for him. He loses focus and concentration, and you get, you know, almost 3 points deducted in execution when that happens.
An unfortunate 13.6. Daniel Purvis from Great Britain next up on the floor exercise. A little bit of a surprise in the all-around competition, and kind of a new name on the scene of world gymnastics.
Well, you gotta look out for
Great Britain.
Great Britain. They are on track. I tell you, they look fantastic.
Not just the men's team, but the women's team are making a move, and why not? They're hosting the 2012 Olympic Games, and you know what? They're pouring money into these athletes. They're paying them salaries. They want to see some medals.
And you know what the Great Britain athletes are really doing is they're executing so well. The essence of gymnastics is do something hard, but make it beautiful, make it look effortless. And really, this team does that.
And I can remember even, you know, we're going a long way back now, but the British athletes have always been very good on floor exercise. Very good tumbling.
Little stylish, yeah, way to come out of that laid out Thomas, named after American Kurt Thomas.
Well, this team certainly has some great momentum, not to mention very talented athletes. Watch out.
Yeah, fantastic routine. I thought Great Britain was actually going to place a little bit higher in the team competition. They still did great. However, they are nursing one of their stars, Daniel Keating's, out with a torn ACL. All words seem to point to him being ready for the next big competition. Little bit sloppy on that. He didn't have the kick out that we saw from Kohei Uchimura. But this was a great routine.
Daniel Purvis waiting for his score. Is Great Britain a team the United States needs to worry about? And there's a score, 15.366, puts him in third for the moment. Could Great Britain push the medal count next year at the World Championships?
Well, it's possible. You know, they are really coming. Like I said, they did a great job here, but were without their top gymnast.
Last man up on the floor exercise, this is Alexander Shadalov. He's familiar with event finals on floor exercise, won the bronze medal at the '09 World Championships on this event.
He actually qualified second. That's how good this routine is coming into today's finals.
And it's funny because he's a big guy.
Tall, isn't he?
He does not look like a floorman at all.
He doesn't. He looks like somebody that could really swing horse. But he just has that ability to create all this force in his snap down into the floor to just shoot his body into the air.
Physics 101, Daggett style, I think that's what that was.
Should all take a class or two.
What I like too is he is really fighting and working for all of those landings. It's like a compulsory pass now.
14 seems so long these days. We had mentioned earlier in the team and all-around competitions, watching these guys take heavy breaths before the final tumbling passes. They're very long.
Ooh, did he stay in?
That was close, yeah. Of course, if he steps out, he'll incur another 1/10 of a point, and I would say that's a 3/10 step. If it's more than shoulder width apart, it's 3/10 less, 1/10 of a point. This is a great mount here. Now, watch, he also kicks out, opens his bodies up, keeps those toes pointed, legs together. It was a great routine, but I am just wondering if that dismount at the end is going to haunt him a little bit.
Well, event finals, that's typically the case, isn't it? Always comes down to a landing, something as small as, you know, a step out of bounds.
Better than a 15.7 will move him into first place. The Greek contingent looks happy.
Guess who won?
I'm guessing that means his position atop the standings is safe. Quite an accomplishment for the Greek delegation. Uchimura holds on to his second medal of this competition, third medal rather, second individual medal. There's the final standings. Kosmidis from Greece winning the gold, Uchimura second, and Purvis from Great Britain winning the bronze medal. We will see if Sacramone can win that elusive gold medal when we return.
Tuesday on Oxygen. He built it.
Rotterdam, Holland, 2010 World Gymnastics Championships. On to the men's pommel horse finals. Our first man up will be Christian Berki from Hungary. Hungary's got a rich tradition on pommel horse. You go through the code of points and there's a lot of Hungarian names in there. And certainly this guy would love to add to that legacy with a gold medal here at the World Championships.
But you know, 8 gymnasts in each of the event finals, 8 possibilities of winning that medal. And on pommel horse, 8 different countries represented, and no China
and Japan.
and no Japan. That's amazing.
When was the last time that happened? Wow.
But he is fantastic on this event.
It has something to do with those long, lean lines and doing this type of work.
Great clearance of the pommels. Beautiful.
Wow.
One pommel work.
Beautiful.
He's extremely square. His hands and his body are facing in the correct position at every moment. And actually, the last 2 moves that he performed were Magyars. A Magyar travel and a Magyar spindle. Great Hungarian gymnast, Zoltan Magyar, and this is amazing.
Nothing like starting off the competition with, you know, here,
We saw
come get it.
Yeah, we saw Sacramone go up first and win
Right.
gold. Uchimura managed a silver going up first on floor exercise. Could it be a gold medal for Berkey first up on pommel horse?
Making it very difficult for the field to come.
This, as I mentioned, is a Magyar spindle. And then he did a Magyar travel immediately after that. Zoltan Magyar won 3 straight world titles, 1974, 78, and 1979.
There's that rich tradition from Hungary.
Dismount, has excellent rhythm going up. Doesn't have to change that rhythm at any point. Boy, that is going to be, that's going to be hard to beat. That was fantastic.
I don't know what the other pommel horsemen are thinking sitting there looking at that routine ahead of them, but we'll see what that score is. 15.833. He sets the bar and he sets it high. Like Sacramone, he's won multiple world medals on this event. However, none of them gold, so he's hoping this will be a change for him. From Australia, next up, Prashant Salatharai. Try to say that 5 times really fast.
Yeah, he moved to Australia from Sri Lanka.
And his style on the pommel horse is about as polar opposite as we just saw. He's little, and he will swing like warp drive.
Quick! Oh, I love this.
He is just so fast.
I feel like he's going to fly off. Wow.
A totally different look.
Isn't that great, though? You can have 2 different athletes.
You think he's got some fast twitch in him, John?
Wow. Very different style, you're right.
Had
He's
a
gotta
coffee
be-
before this routine, I think, or a few.
And he's got to give up at least a foot in height to Berkey, too.
Oh, it's a great routine. Another great pommel horse routine.
And, you know, he qualified second coming into today's event finals. He had a 15.566 the other day.
He finished just behind Berkey at the last World Championships on this event, winning a bronze medal.
Oh,
As good as that was, unfortunately, it might not be good enough again to overtake Berkey.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like the style as much as I liked from the Hungarian Berkey, but it's super impressive how quickly he can turn his body on this skill. Once again, there's that Magyar spindle. Even in slow motion, it looks pretty quick. That's as good as he can do, though. And that's all any athlete wants to do here at these World Championships, is just go out there and get a personal best.
And he gets into second place with that personal best, 15.566. Not quite enough, and it could have been that difficulty. He gave up a little bit on that difficulty score, too.
Yeah, the judges got that right.
From Croatia, Filip Ude.
some say he executes some of the best circles on pommel horse. He was 4th coming into today's qualification, or from the qualification. He had a 15.5.
He actually was the silver medalist at the 2008 Olympic Games in Beijing, behind Xiao Qin from China,
Also the
who I believe has retired at this point.
won the silver medal as well at the European Championships in 2008, that same year.
He might have the most extended circle,
It's pretty.
and this skill becoming much more popular.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of those now. That's not easy.
No. Look at how open his body is.
I don't think people can appreciate just how hard this is. Keep your body above the pommel in that straight table-like position.
What an event final.
You took the words right out of my mouth, Tim. This is a battle.
It's a treat, actually, isn't it? See such great pommel horse work.
Look at how open, not just his hips, but his chest is open. Some people actually think that that is technically not the most sound way to do it, but it sure paints a pretty picture.
Christian Berkey, catch him if you can. We'll find out when we return with more pommel horse final.
A talented field.
As we were going to break, we saw a 15.316 from Filip Ude, putting him in 3rd. This is Cyril Thomasson from France. The top three currently Berkey, Salafarai, and Uday.
He really wants to get a little redemption himself, Sacramone style. He was 4th at the last World Championships, just out of the medals.
But did qualify 3rd coming into the event finals. Had a high score of 15.5. Like to better that. Very similar to Berkey's style, I would say.
Very nice, but look at his hands. They're not parallel, which the judges will deduct for. Very good.
Great
but
event
not,
finals.
But not great. Very good, but not great.
I tell you what, Tim's overcritical eye is, I mean, I'm just blown away by how many good pommel horse routines we're seeing in this final.
There's no question, but all I'm doing is trying to put it in perspective. This guy versus the top guys, and
yeah,
if they think that he's the top, then they're wrong.
A unique start. I've not seen any gymnast perform 2 scissors to handstands right out of the gate.
New trend we're seeing in men's gymnastics. Well, you see that one hand is in front of the other, and that in gymnastics lingo is called skewing. And every time you skew, like he did just there, it is a deduction. And he did it there too.
Real waits for his score. 15.433. Good enough, however, despite the skew, to move into the top 3.
Yes.
More yet to come. And this young man, Lewis Smith from Great Britain, definitely a contender.
Yeah, once again, Great Britain on the rise. 2012, happening in their hometown, London.
Well, he was the bronze medalist, wasn't he, in 2008? So
yes, he was.
They're looking to him for a medal.
He's capable of doing, I think, the hardest routine, start value-wise. I would say his style is very close to Berkey's. A little bit slow, completely extended, almost a carbon copy of the start of the routine as well.
I know I find those white socks very distracting.
Had a little bit of a form break. Well, this is a very hard routine. And that he caps it off.
Are the judges hitting him for that slow pirouette?
You know, my guess is that they're not gonna, but personally, I'd take a 10th just for rhythm. Beautiful scissor work right to the handstand. Doesn't have the best toes. They're not always pointed.
It's those white socks.
Yeah, those white socks really make it
choke. You know, my
off.
eyes are just drawn to these flexed feet. I don't know about that.
But I think this is the hardest routine we've seen. Very hard to calculate on the go like that. Here is the rhythm. You see how he slows down and then speeds up.
Tim, he did have the highest difficulty value.
15.733, second place in the medals for Great Britain. Berkey still holding that top spot. Harutyam Merdinyan from Armenia.
You know, this might be one of the best event finals I've ever seen. Not pommel horse event finals. One of the best event finals I've ever seen.
And it's such a diverse final. If you would have normally said that about pommel horse, Tim, you would have been talking about China and Japan. 8 different countries and not your household names either.
And Harutyam is really a pommel horse specialist at the 09 and 06 World Championships. He only competed on this event.
Oh, and there was a little bit of a break. Once again, you see that. It's called a Russian in the middle of the horse, and very difficult. There's just not enough room to get your hands down. He is very good, but at the World Championships, he is not good enough.
It seems like if you have one visible break, period, you're out.
In this final.
Yeah.
Well, I thought the second half of the routine really picked up pace and it looked a lot cleaner. It was the difficulty that he had a little bit with his form errors in the beginning.
Once again, it's so tight to get your hands down without catching your fingers on the pommels. And believe me, when you catch your fingers on the pommels, it hurts. They oftentimes pop right out of joint, don't they, John?
That has been known to happen, unfortunately, at the most inopportune times. He's pretty confident, Berkey is, that he has held on to that top spot, and he should be.
Yeah, no question.
He is a head taller than all of these guys.
Oh, my.
You know, look at those two.
You know what he looks like? Yeah, especially look at the contrast there. But he looks like a 1970s NCAA pommel horse specialist.
I thought you were going to say member of the UCLA basketball team.
Yeah. There was a time where there were all these long, tall guys in the NCAA that dominated pommel horse in the 70s and very early 80s.
Looks confident. There's Medvinyan's score, 15.166. Sixth place, so it will be Berkey, Smith, and Salatharai on the podium respectively, and the first gold medal for Hungary on the pommel horse in a long, long time.
And a well-deserved gold medal. Imagine that. He was the first man up and really set the pace.
Women's uneven bar finals is coming up next when we return to Rotterdam, Holland. There's your results. Berkey in first, Smith, and then Salatharai.
The most
finals at the World Gymnastics Championships, Rotterdam, Holland. And we're going to start out with a big dog on the rings, the defending world champion Gang Mingyong from China. Can he be another like Berkey on pommel horse, like Sacramone on vault rather, to win in that first slot?
Yeah, there's no question he can. Like you said, he's the reigning world champion. He, however, qualified in second to his Olympic gold medal teammate, Chen Yibing. But this right here is the most impressive strength sequence that I have ever seen. That is impossible.
Just doesn't seem right, does it?
Wow.
Of course, the men have to hold those positions for 2 seconds, 2 full seconds.
John, if I had 2 coaches on either side of me when I was competing, lifting me through that strength, they couldn't do it. Little bit of a hiccup right there. He kind of flexed his right elbow.
Both he and his teammate have the same difficulty value of their routine, so it comes down to the execution.
Nice swing to a handstand. That is a requirement on the still rings. Dismount here. And a big hop forward, and more than just the hop forward, his chest down by his thighs, which I don't think they'll do it, but if the judges wanted to, that could be a full half point. But this starting strength sequence, like I said it, and it's like I don't know how it's physically possible. I don't know how you can do that. Maybe Chen Yibing could do it like that as well, but I don't.
Unbelievable. Just when you think they can't get any stronger, they find a way to continue to impress.
He really capitalizes on his, this is called a flange.
His upper body is literally twice the size of his lower body.
So look at the dismount. We know he's going to take a hop, but where is his chest when he lands? How bent over is he?
Look pretty bent over.
Score 15.7, solidly in first. Obviously, a lot of great ringmen yet to come, most notably his teammate Chen Yibing.
You saw that execution score at 8.9. Have to keep your eye on those execution scores.
Koji Yamamura from Japan qualified into the event finals in 3rd place.
And, you know, Japan really had a shot to challenge China for the gold medal, but right near the end of the competition, they had some missteps and some falls, and it took them right out of that. They ended up with silver, but right now, the top two teams in the world, China and Japan.
And the last gold medal that was ever won on the still rings was 1983, Koji Gushikin of Japan.
From Budapest, Hungary. Yamamura is very good on still rings. As an all-rounder, he's excellent. But in this field, with what we have seen so far and what is about to come, doesn't pack the same muscle. He's just really strong. The other guys are ridiculously strong.
And you're right, it's amazing because he's awesome. By all accounts, he's awesome, but you put him next to Yan from China, and it's another league. It's a Mercedes and not a Mercedes.
It's a Mercedes in your car.
Exactly. I didn't want to say it, but thank you.
Legs are a little bit low. That should be completely parallel to the floor. And you see how he rises up? He doesn't just finish right in the L cross, and his head should be completely in the rings immediately. So he's got deductions in this exercise.
And of course, a very small step back on the landing, but nevertheless, it's still a deduction.
A 15.5 will not knock Yan off that top spot. We'll see if he can stay on the podium with that current second ranking. Italy is a country that has been known for great ringmen, and Matteo Morandi continuing that legacy.
He won 3 bronze medals at World Championships. They date back to 2002, 2003, 2005. He is the current European champion on this event.
But that legacy was started and really just solidified by Yuri Keki, won 5 straight world titles on still rings.
Didn't they call him Lord of the Rings?
Little better positions, a little lower right from the start. And holding them for the required 2 seconds. It's a good exercise. My first coach in gymnastics used to say that guy's got muscle in his sweat.
They never said that about me, Tim.
And he does too. And
oh, he makes it interesting.
The first stick that we've seen on the broadcast.
Not too many of these guys are going to be pommel horsemen, are they, Tim?
No. Yeah, it just doesn't work.
Unless they widen that horse by about 12 inches.
A very strong position. Goes into a required swing element. You can't just be strong. You also have to swing.
Matteo Morandi waiting for his score. 15.666 moves him into second.
Today on Universal.
Some of the strength that Chenny Bing is capable of doing, it baffles my mind as how it's possible. And you'll see right here. That right there is just like there's got to be like invisible wires. His teammate struggled a little bit on the dismount. Here we go.
I think Chen and Yan could sell tickets to their ring workouts to the general public. I would love to be a fly on the wall in their gym and watch those two go at it.
They're both great, but the guy that's going to be walking off the podium right there, he is the 2010 world champion on the still rings. If the judges get this wrong, I don't know what I'm going to do.
They're going to hear from you, Tim.
It needs to be better than a 15.7.
Well, and they both have the same difficulty. It comes down to the execution. So when we take a look at his score, keep an eye on that.
One gymnast left. Kobayashi from Japan will be next. Their expression, too, it's amazing. They look like they're sitting on the couch watching television.
Gymnastics 101, we haven't seen it often today. Stick the landing. You want the gold? Stick the landing.
And there it is, Tim. That appears to be the difference of 15.9 for Chen Yibing. That puts him in first place. Ultimately, a score that can't be caught.
There's really no way. You know, I mean, he qualified in Kenya 7th, scored a 15.433, and once again, he's great on still rings, but he is not godlike, and we have just seen that. One of the problems is there are a lot of gymnasts in the world that can hold these strength parts, but when you got to pack 6 or 7 of them into a routine, by the time you get to the end, it's just, you know, the muscle fatigue is overwhelming. In that position right there, you're already seeing it degrade. Its legs are a little low, and he's a little arched in his lower back.
A little bit of a swing.
And Kobayashi is not a physical slouch, but Chen Yibing is so physically imposing. He makes him look like a boy among men.
He does. Unbelievable gymnastics all day long today. Small hop on the landing, a beautiful exercise, but he's not going to make it to the podium. There is your champion.
Has a smile, reclaims that world title that he lost to his teammate Yan last year at the World Championships.
It's right at the top of his routine. Very nice position there. That bent arms right there also going to be a 1/10 of a point, and you see he is not level instantly. His shoulders rise above the rings. These are all places where the judges will take pen to paper.
He had a few waivers here and there in his body positions, some form errors. It will be tough even to get on the podium with this exercise, but as you said, very good, great routines actually all day long.
Kenya mugging it up for the crowd. Chen just waiting for it to be official, and there's Kobayashi's score, 15.3, puts him in 7th. And it is official. Chen Yibing is again the world champion. A hug from his coach.
Again, the strongest man in the world right there.
Very pleased.
Well deserved.
An event really that they have dominated in recent years. In the final standings, Chen in first, Yan in second. Mateo narrowly beats out Yamamuro from Japan for the top 3 in the ring finals. Awards in his case, including Olympic bronze medal. This is Anton Galatsutskov from Russia.
He actually grabbed 2 bronze medals at the 2008 Olympic Games. But you know, this vault final, there are some unbelievable vaulters, but the man, Marian Dragulescu from Romania, he's not here. A little bit beat up, but this is huge. Wow.
What a start.
That's big time.
Remember, in the event finals, the men have to compete 2 vaults. They will be averaged.
I feel like vault finals for men has become load the cannon and shoot it. These guys are amazing.
It's a long way around to get that body. 3 times around, he's flipping from board to landing. Just crazy hard.
And at the end of the runway, you can see where the men post the difficulty value of their vaults. This one's a 7.0. I believe he's planning the same difficulty for the second one. And many of the other men are planning to do the same. So it's about landings.
I have to be honest, he's a tremendous gymnast, but I can't get the image of the 2003 World Championships when he did a huge vault and came up way short. There's his score, 16.43.
I don't know what he just sniffed there, but he definitely did something. Smelling salts or... And remember at the top I said that this final is missing the man, Marian Dragulescu, the reigning world champion on vaulting. Well, this vault right here, it's a Dragulescu.
Each gymnast will do 2 vaults and they will average those.
Marian a bit beat up, did not qualify.
Wow.
A little better than I remember from 2003. That was tremendous.
Yeah, I remember that vault in 03 as well, John, and it was quite scary actually, and he looked panicked as he stood up, but this was fantastic. Great power. Just
Sky high, wow.
jams into that table, and he's looking at the ground. That whole last flip, puts his feet down, stays in between the 2 main lines.
Remember, Anton qualified first coming into today's event finals, and the disadvantage for him, he's first up.
Anton's second score is 16.3 for a 16.366 average. Set the bar quite high, don't you think?
Yeah, that's a big number, you know. There are a lot of guys that can do one of these vaults real well, but very few that can excel at both.
Thomas Buhail from France will be our next vaulter.
Olympic silver medalist on this event from Beijing. He qualified second coming into today's event finals.
In France, you know, they really had a great competition. They were 5th in the team round, did extremely well, and they did it without one of their top stars who went down with an injury. Benoit Caranog. Here we go.
Same first vault like Anton performed.
Wow. You know, it was a much bigger hop on the landing, but in my opinion, it was far superior, had a little more power, and it also was cleaner.
Another look at this first vault.
Look at the legs are a little bit more together. They're a little straighter. Yes, he does take that longer hop. That should be a 3/10 hop.
Practically finishes both saltos well above the horse.
John, how would you like to stand at the end of the runway and know you had to do that?
Tim, I've thought of that many times as we see the score 16.366. I've thought of that many times and
You said no?
decided absolutely not. There's no chance. I would become a specialist before that happens.
So far, the first 2 competitors, start values of 7.0. That's just, you know, you see a number
For
like
both
7
vaults.
for both vaults. You know that you'll see something pretty spectacular.
3 times around. He'll finish it off with a half twist, try to spot that ground and somehow find the floor.
Beautiful.
The first 2 guys are making it look easy.
Yeah, but that was better. Both of them were better. Golotsutkov was fantastic, but he's just cleaner and he's a little bit more powerful. He rockets off that table. There, he's looking at the ground.
So straight.
That's big time.
It seemed like it wasn't long ago that it was a flip of the coin with these guys doing these vaults and whether they'd make it. Now, for these guys, it's become almost automatic. Thomas Buhail, a 16.449, takes an early lead on vault.
17 years old at his first major championship.
Still wet behind the ears, but he is going to have to be a man right here because the bar has been set very high by the top two vaulters at the moment.
And he's going to do a very different style, but super difficult as well. A handspring, laid out front, 2.5 twists. Oh.
Where's that start value going to put him compared to the first two vaulters that we saw?
I believe it's the same start value as we've seen, a maximum score of 17.0.
Of course, the 7.0 is the difficulty part, and the other part of the score is execution. They can get up to a 10.0.
I mean, that was amazing. He almost looks like he could pull another twist, which is incredible.
A very clean-looking vault, though, you have to admit, in the air. Super, super quick twister.
16.4 is his first score. He's chasing a 16.449 average for Thomas Buheil from France.
He's planning another very difficult 7.0 vault.
And, you know, a great vault.
The look on his face looked like he gave something away there.
Yeah, big step, and, you know, you have to do two different vaults. They have to be what's called different families. So this one, with the technique that's being done today, it's very similar. Now there's another guy, Flavius Kosi from Russia, who also, or from Romania, who also does this, but personally I like to see something that's completely different in this, at this level. It's a Kasamatsu with 2 twists.
Technique was very well done in the air. It's that landing.
He definitely distinguishes the 2 vaults. There's no question. A lot of people sometimes think Flavius doesn't. He does, but I just like the variety.
There's vault 2, 16.133. Will not move him to the top spot, but currently does put him on the podium in 3rd place. Next up from Belarus, Dmitry Kasparovich.
He's been here for a long time. Tim and I feel like we've watched this young man for years.
And a good strong ball.
He qualified 2nd coming into today's finals. He's been to many an American Cup, and I remember back then trying to get information out of this man, and he just kept telling us, gymnastics is my job.
Small little step on the landing. Don't know why he picked his foot up and put it back together again. That could be viewed as another step. Let's see here. He slides back. He should just kind of clicked his heels together like Dorothy.
Dmitry does have experience in the finals. He won the silver medal at the 2006 World Championships as well as the 2008 European Championships. 16.233. He will have to do better than that if he wants to move up into the top spot.
Well, he's planning a 2nd vault with the same difficulty value. It's just incredible to me how many of the men today are doing these vaults.
Instead of flipping forwards, he'll do a half turn onto the vaulting table and then complete his 3 flips backwards. That was pretty good. First ball was a little bit so-so, but that one was pretty darn good.
Tim, if you would have told me before this event final all these guys were going to be doing 7.0 vaults and it would come down to who had the better landing or the stuck landing as opposed to who survives, I would have been shocked. This is astounding.
Pretty good form in the air, a little bit crooked, close to that line, but the line in gymnastics, it's always in, is not out.
But I totally agree with you, Tim, in terms of variety. I think, you know, the men should show 2 completely different styles. I mean, to me, that's a true champion.
Dmitry waited for a score, 16.4, puts him in 3rd place, knocks Yang off of the podium, and currently will put him in the medal.
I would say that the judges, they're getting it right. They're getting it right.
The last vaulter in this event final, Luis Rivera from Puerto Rico.
You can see the difficulties drop down only a 6.6. It's going to have to be perfect.
was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful, but just not hard enough. Small hop on the landing, but look at the leg form. Legs just a little bit apart onto the vaulting table, but then in the air, that was flawless.
It didn't seem like that long ago, and there's the 15.975. Didn't seem that long ago that that vault could win the world title.
That's true.
But Luis did qualify 8th coming into today's finals, and it is the top 8 vaulters that compete on each apparatus final. This one, I believe, is valued, again, another 6.6 vaults. So a little bit of a disadvantage coming in with not quite the same degree of difficulty as what we've watched.
And so what that means is Thomas Buchal from France is the world champion in 2010. Beautiful vault again. Love his style. Great form in the air.
And he knows it.
Yeah.
Yeah, those thumbs up were for him. He was doing that for himself.
Really, though, a very nice, very clean 2 vaults.
That has to be one of the toughest vault finals that I've seen, just as far as the quality of the execution of the vaults. We didn't see any wipeouts.
It's kind of fun, though, have to admit.
It was great.
Keeps you on the edge of your seat.
There's Kasparovich, who's in 3rd place, and Luis Rivera in 7th. That start value definitely hurt him. And there's your world champion, Thomas Buchal from France, the French contingent. Obviously very emotional and very pleased.
Fun to see, isn't it? Well, he certainly is a specialist. He had a lot of fun winning that medal.
Emotions are running high in Rotterdam. Thomas Buchal from France, very pleased with his gold medal performance, and he should be. Looking at the final standings for the vault, Gulatsutskov ends up with the silver medal. Kasparovich in 3rd with the bronze, and Yang can't quite hold on, drops to 4th.
6 international.
See that left shoulder, though, is taped up.
Again.
He has been battling a shoulder injury, some inflammation in the joint his entire stay in Rotterdam.
Hard to believe he's been battling an injury with the performances that he's been putting in, but man, he is such a stylish athlete.
Very difficult. John, you used to do that, right?
Mine had about a half less flip to it, Tim.
Beautiful kick out. If you took a poll of the gymnastics experts worldwide, he would be unquestionably in the top 5 of all time and closing in a lot higher even.
She's just making these skills look so easy. Love the way he kicks out on the double flips too. He just takes it to a different level.
Oh man.
We've seen some athletes go up first and win gold medals at these championships, and if anybody can do it with the routine, that one right there.
What does he eat for breakfast?
He can't do it better than that, can he?
I don't think so. You know, here's that first major release skill. It does a front uprise into a double back. So difficult to get that all the way around.
This is one of those routines I want to really see that execution score, because I'm struggling to find something.
No question. Well, they will. But look at great dismount. Beautiful. Opens his body. Fights for the landing. He's phenomenal.
When he's pumping his fist, you know something we don't. 15.5, 9.1 execution score, so 9/10 off.
Where?
On that routine.
Exactly.
I don't get
But
it.
pretty much that's about as high as we've seen.
Tang Haibin from China is up next, and we alluded to it moments ago. Only 3 medals for the Chinese men so far, which is unheard of given the domination they've had recently.
Well, he qualified 2nd place for PPAR finals. Actually had a score of 15.633, so a little better than what we just saw from Kohei.
He has been around the gymnastic scene, was on the 2004 Olympic team. Very nice for China, but was not in the mix in '08.
It's remarkable that he can come back and still have this type of skill level. That's a big break in gymnastics. Oh.
Hop on the landing. I don't know, it doesn't, it was great. It was fantastically hard, but I like Uchimura.
Let's put our judges' hats on for a moment and let's check when this score comes up. I don't see how he can have a higher execution score than Uchimura did.
Well, he took a hop on the landing. You know, Uchimura didn't. Actually gets a little stalled on that Diamondov, but does finish in a handstand, so it's okay. This was beautiful, though. A pike double back right onto his leaning arm supports.
Tang Hai Bin waiting for the score. It is a 15.616 and a 9.216 in execution. He takes the top spot for
The Big Apple.
A sea of humanity from start to finish.
The biggest field.
The largest marathon on.
Gets ready to perform.
But I got to tell you, John, I think that the judges got it wrong in a big way. Kohei Uchimura was better. He was cleaner. He was classier. It flowed better.
But Feng Shu did qualify first coming into these finals. He had a 15.866, guys.
Yeah, he's phenomenal. Little leg separation right there, but his routine is jam-packed with difficulty. Nice kick out.
Pretty.
There we go. Another release. The routine just goes on and on. To his feet. Oh, wow.
He's pumped.
Well, that was really good.
Tang Hai Bin looks on. How clean was it compared to Uchimura again? I know we keep going back. We still saw a few little breaks.
I think it wasn't as clean, but I think that he, you know, some of the gymnastics that he's doing is possibly a little bit more difficult. And you know what Uchimura did do? He kind of had that swing of his arms when he landed his dismount off parallel bars. This guy just was like a knife in soft cheese.
I like that, Tim, a knife. Did you ever use that one when I was competing?
Not for you.
I was never a knife in
But
soft
let's
cheese.
watch it.
And that was great.
That was.
Chest up.
Look at his fingers. Number one.
Yeah, the Chinese have
Yeah.
been so
Confident?
Yeah.
yeah, and a little boisterous for
In many ways
themselves.
before they present to the
Yeah.
judges, too.
Feng Jie does indeed take the top spot, 15.966. And again, outscores Uchimura on the execution side. China currently sitting in first and in second, trying to add 2 more medals to the 3 they've already won for the men at this competition. Next up from Germany, Fabian Hambuchen. Really one of the crowd favorites over the last really 4 or 5 years in gymnastics.
and he loves to show it off.
He's a good guy.
A little bit of a showman, for certain.
Fabian was at the American Cup earlier this year to jumpstart his season.
That was great. That's about as good as I've ever seen him do it. Got it all the way around. This is a much improved event for Fabian. Oh, got a big hop on the landing.
Getting some cheers from the competition, the Chinese delegation. waiting and watching patiently on the side.
Very, very, very good, but not Fengzhe good.
You know, in 2007, he won an all-around medal at the World Championships, and at that moment, it seemed like he was the next coming of the great gymnast. But what has been his Achilles heel? Has it been his injuries that have kind of held him back?
No, it really, in 2008, he said it was all his brain that got in the way. He just took it too seriously, and he became a person that he wasn't.
And
he wasn't having fun out there. He wasn't relaxed.
And he chopped his competitive schedule in half. He said he put way too much on his plate. He had too much on his agenda, his calendar for the year, and said, I was tired.
We will see Fabian later on in this competition on his best event, the horizontal bar. We wait for his score of 15.366. Will not put him on the podium on this event. The Chinese will go 1-2. Feng Zhe and Teng Haibin from China, as we can see, taking the top two spots. Kohei Uchimura, that very clean routine, only good enough for third.
10 Olympic champions.
The three-ring circus moves over to the high bar, the most exciting event, in my opinion, Tim, in the event finals for men, for the women as well. And they start out with Epke Zonderland, the favorite son from Netherlands, and he's got a great shot here.
Yeah, he is. You search for a word to describe him. He is just wild on this event. Gonna connect these two. Oh! Wow. Watch another connection here. Very critical. Fingertips.
He is putting on a show for his country.
The noise in the crowd builds with each release move.
Wow. Gives me goosebumps for him.
Prince Willem, the heir apparent to the Dutch throne, is in the house, and he loves it.
How can you not?
There he is in the blue tie and the blue suit, Prince Willem. I don't know, there might be a new king in Rotterdam, and it might be Epke Zonderland.
That was amazing.
That was a lot of fun.
These guys are going, gosh, I can't do that.
Yeah.
That wasn't a very sincere hug. It was going, oh, great, thanks, buddy.
He was second last year at the World Championships. Can you imagine what a gold would do for him here?
But we've seen first up people win at these World Championships, and golly, I'll tell you, that bar was set as high as it could be set.
If you're not going to say it, I am. That was ginormous. 16.033. He has set the standard. And there's his mom. She's loving it too.
She's hanging out with royalty now.
She is. The hometown loves it, and how do you follow up that performance and that energy?
I'd be a little nervous.
Yeah. Well, remember, Fengzhe is on a high as well. He just grabbed the gold medal in the last men's event, parallel bars, but, you know, he is just not of that league. I'm sorry.
Well, he qualified last coming into the event finals. He was in 8th place.
Is it safe to say we'll see a different style here, too?
Yeah. We'll do this in combination with a release right here. The crowd slightly less enthralled.
There still seems to be a murmur, though.
Yeah. Well, he's not wearing orange, so.
Uninspired.
Well, very clean, very good, but, you know, we're going to see even more. You know, Epke was unbelievable, and this was just good, that's all. The Chinese as a whole don't do the major double flipping elements over the bar. This is a very popular combination, but gets him a lot of points, but it's really, like you said, a little uninspired.
And lacking, I should say, some difficulty compared to Epke.
It's funny, though, it can be deceiving. Yes, he does rank lower than Epke in difficulty, but a lot of times those pirouetting skills, they can really add on to that difficulty score.
Still seems to be enjoying that gold medal from parallel bars, and there it is, a 15.166, a distant second behind Epke Zonderland, who really pulled out all the stops. There he is, and he's got to sit and wait and hope that this dismount will catapult him to a gold medal in Rotterdam.
The World Championships are in full.
Championships, and his first time out, he gets a chance to be in as a first event final as well.
And Chris is great on high bar. Has once again, a different style than we saw from Epke. But nice combination he'll do right here into a release and then another one. Very nice.
Crowd appreciates it as well.
Another release. That was great. A very strong routine from Chris Brooks. Tom Meadows, his former junior coach, looks on. That was pretty great.
Chris Brooks, a graduate from the University of Oklahoma.
I was about to say, right before the dismount, that this was the best routine I've ever seen him do. I still think it was the best routine. He just kind of took two of those slides on the landing. Let's look here. Great form in the air. One little hop and then a step back. You can't,
Hurts.
As tight as this could be, those small steps, as we've already seen, obviously can be the difference. Epke, the waiting game for him, underway. Danelle Ava from the United States will be the next competitor up as Chris Brooks takes his grips off and becomes cheerleader. Score for Chris Brooks, a 15.383, so Epke very safe in that first spot. Chris Brooks currently sits in silver medal position.
And this guy, he can challenge. He has the routine, the ability to get it done. He really does.
I bet you'll hear a few oohs and ahs from the crowd, because what's interesting is when they fly over that bar, they recognize great skills. It's those intricate skills that Tim talked about. They don't get it, but they do the high flying act.
Fantastic. Watch this. Double layout over the bar. Arms out to the side. Another huge release right here.
Oh.
actually was doing a very difficult element right there in his routine, decided to take it out for these Worlds. Pretty darn great so far.
Oh, that kills.
Unbelievable gymnastics, not just here, but throughout these event finals. I'm continually blown away.
Incredible. His dad and coach, Yin Alvarez.
How much is he loving being down on the floor?
Anybody that knows Yin gets as much exercise during a routine as Donnell does. He is all over the floor.
For those inside, yes-o! Look at that.
That's beautiful, isn't it?
Incredible.
It's really the only misstep. Gets a little bit arched there. Recovers extremely well.
Oh, but in a finals, every little bit counts.
And unfortunately, that step, I don't think that's 1/10. I think that's 3 off.
He needed the knife through hot cheese or whatever. What was it, Tim?
Soft cheese.
Soft cheese,
A
yeah.
knife and soft cheese.
That one, yeah.
You liked it.
Yin always liked it, Elfie.
He's not done. He goes on for about another 10 minutes.
The world of gymnastics is not ready for Yin Alvarez. FK awaits. Donnell Leyva is definitely pleased. Score 15.666. Not enough to catch FK, but he does knock Chris Brooks from the 2nd to 3rd position for the time being. 2 Americans are on the podium. And he's thinking, whew, I survived one more. Fabian Hambuchen from Germany. Outstanding on this event. Won the gold medal at the 2007 World Championships on this event. This is his event.
He has some titles on high bar.
But he is, like Epka and like Donnell, a high flyer.
Wow.
Here we go with a full twist. Great. Very difficult combinations.
He's looking so sharp.
So far, as good as I've seen him look.
Where's the stick? I think we're hearing a collective uh-oh from the hometown crowd. I can't find another word other than ridiculousness, and that's not even a word, but that every time someone goes up, you see something more amazing than the last.
You know, Fabian said to Epka in 2007 when he won the gold medal on high bar, he said, "You were better. You should have won it." I think he might just do that today. This was a great routine.
Okay, looks on. Oh, we hear a cheer from the crowd, and I think that means FK holds on, and he does.
And you know, wow. Fabian is capable of doing a harder dismount, didn't do it.
By the slimmest of margins, and that will guarantee that FK Zonderland will win the first medal for Netherlands at these World Championships. Another big surprise at these World Championships is the next gentleman, Philipp Boy from Germany, won the silver medal in the all-around competition, and he's been around for a few years, but Tim, this has really been his coming out party.
It really has, you know. I mean, I guarantee you, nobody, including him, thought he would come to these championships and win a silver in the all-around. Very nice release. Great far from the bar, makes it look light. Fingertip grab. They look great. They give your coach a heart attack. Very nice. Right to the handstand. Hard and very well done. Only the hop on the landing.
These guys are giving the audience their money's worth. This has been a great finals.
Look at that. Wow. Laid out Kovacs with a full twist. When you do that, it's called a casina, named after Olympic champion. I love high bar, man. I love it.
If you're like me, you're loving the fact you don't have to do it anymore, too. It's become a great spectator sport for me.
Oh, that hop and his chest down low at the end, though.
Danelle Leyva holding on to the third position currently. FK Zonderland in first. Hambuchen in second. And Philip Boy will move into the third position. The Americans will finish outside the medals with 15.8.